Danny, short trip to Barnet on Saturday. They had a tough start themselves with 3 defeats, but have since had back-to-back really impressive wins. What kind of challenge are you expecting on Saturday?
I think a really tough one. Certainly a game that we're really looking forward to. Credit to Dean Brennan and Barnet. Dean and I go back a long way. He would have been the manager of Hemel Hempstead when I was at Concord Rangers, so we would have battled it out in non-league, and it's been great to see the progress that he's made. And obviously Barnet last year I thought had an outstanding season in probably certainly in the 8 divisions that I've managed, in the toughest of all of those divisions to get promoted from, because there's only one automatic place, 24 teams. So and you look at some of the big hitters in that division, so for Barnet to get promoted and in the way that they did it and the style of football that they played, credit to Dean. This season, they find it tough initially, but 2 really positive results for them. Be interesting to see that they've changed their style in the last 2 games. We've seen 2 faces to their team. We've seen a team that obviously in the National League can really build their play through the pitch, ask lots of questions of the opposition, look to try to dominate the ball, create lots of chances, and in the last 2 games they've come away from that and played a bit more direct and played quicker into the final third and been purposeful and picked up some results doing it that way as well. So we're prepared for both eventualities, but really for us, as well as preparing for the opposition, obviously to put enough energy into us. We're a new group. We've taken some good feedback from recent games, and we've spent a lot of time this week working on aspects of the game that we think can help the team move forward.
And I was going to say, how's training been this week? Has it been nice to have a full week leading up to the fixture, which we haven't really had in recent weeks with the Tuesday night games? Or would you rather bounce back and have another game straight away after the defeat?
I love football, so I play football every day of the week if I could. But no, for us, 5 games in 14 days was a lot of games. It doesn't give you much time on the training pitch. So we've enjoyed having this week, because particularly when you're a new group, the time on the pitch and on the training pitch is very important. I think last week we did a lot right. You don't have as many touches in the box as we had. I think over 50, 24 shots, 15 corners, without doing a lot right. But there were things that we didn't do so well, and that is ultimately why we end up losing the game. So we spent a lot of time working in both boxes. Last year we prided ourselves on being hard to beat and keeping clean sheets. I think we keep 21 of them last year, which was an incredible effort. And obviously, working on our technical execution, our decision making in the final third, because we got into so many good areas on Saturday, but these are 2 areas, the decision making and technical execution, that we need to keep improving on, and that's what we've been working on. And we've had a good week, and we've enjoyed the work that we've put in.
And one positive from Saturday was Jack Baldwin making his debut, and obviously we had Gape making his debut the game before. So how good is it to have those kind of experienced players back in the fold moving forwards? Yeah,
well, we're such a young group, so we have such a young squad. So for us to have a couple of senior players back, I think is very important, because they bring, they've lived it. They bring so much to the dressing room. They know how to win. Both boys have been part of successful teams, and it just gives us a good balance within the changing room. So pleased to have both boys back. We anticipate a busy end to this week. We obviously have just over 72 hours left before the window shuts. Still some work to do.
And just a note on that, obviously Oscar Thorn departed earlier in the week. He came through the 21s initially, who themselves have been flying so far this season with 3 back-to-back wins. Just a note on Oscar himself, but also the 21s and how impressed you've been with them, and also that pathway as well at the club.
Yeah, of course, we're super disappointed to lose Oscar, but really pleased for him. He's a boy that, in the last 18 months, when we arrived 18 months ago, he was on loan at Bath. He wasn't able to get into Bath's team in step 6 of English football, and credit to the academy, credit to the staff, but most of all credit to him, because the way he's worked both on the training pitch and away from the training pitch to develop and to get better has allowed him to get this move. And I think here you see we give young players opportunity early. We do work really hard with them on the training pitch to develop and improve them. And he's a boy who's 6'3" and can move at 10 metres a second, so he's always going to attract interest because he has some attributes that you can't give him, and a really big learning capacity. So we're sad to lose him because we still felt like there was so much growth in him and so much more work that we could do with him. But he goes to a brilliant club, a club that obviously Nicky and I know really well in Lincoln City, that have a lot of good people and are very good at developing players themselves. So we wish him nothing but success. But I think for us, really proud of another young player that the club have developed that moves on to a higher level. Our 21s, top of the Cat 2 league. You know, it's hard enough being in the Cat 2 system as a League 2 club, because that is tough, because you have so many big clubs in there with so many resources. So for us to be competing the way we are, I must say that we're doing a lot right with our young players, and I'm so proud of them because they got beat 14-1 last year to Coventry City. We played them on Tuesday and we beat them 3-2, and to turn that round, Elliot and the guys in the academy should be incredibly pleased with the work that they have done, because they now have a group that are super competitive, fighting really hard, got a lot of young players that they're preparing well for the next step in their journey. And to start the season unbeaten and with so many wins is a credit to everybody's hard work.
And finally, you mentioned there where we're at in the transfer window, only a few days remaining. Give us a bit of an insight into what it's like as a manager in these last few days, especially when you've got a game in the middle of it as well. Are you able to just park stuff and focus on the game, or I guess you don't really have that luxury with such a little time remaining? Yeah,
of course. I think for us, we have to work, we have to prioritise. Like you rightly say, we have a very important game on Saturday that we have to prepare the team for as best as we can, and then we have to find the time around that to make sure that we stay on top of recruitment. We have to be agile, because we understand that we have a lot of brilliant young players at this football club that so many people and so many other clubs would like. This doesn't scare us. This is something I think that we should be immensely proud of, but we do have to be ready. And of course, some positions are easier to replace than others. We have the number 9, for example. We know that there's a huge demand for 9s at the moment, and a very small supply, certainly for the profile of 9s that we're looking for. But in other areas, we have lists. We're waiting for the market to come to us, as I've said before. So that has meant some patience, but we are making some progress as well, which is good. And ultimately, we just want to find the very best players that are available to us with the finance that we have. That is our responsibility. It's always the club's responsibility to tell us what's affordable, and for us to tell them the very best value for what we have, and then to try to convince the player that this is a great place to come. And I think for any young player who wouldn't want to come to Colchester United, because they've just seen a pathway where we played them early and we worked really hard on the training pitch to make them better, and that's why we can accelerate their progress and they move so quickly. So, but we just don't want to be a developing club. We want to be a winning club, and I wake up every day with a thought of winning. Now, of course, we have to develop the players to win, but it's always side by side. It's never one more important than the other. So for us to find that balance, I think is crucial. I know we have had the disappointment in results in the last 2 games, but I still sit here super excited about the future of Colchester United, and just incredibly determined to keep trying to move forward and keep trying to be better than yesterday, and keep trying to bring positive and a good feeling to to a football club that I'm really fond of.